61. That's where Hooker wants to go with the football. 7-0 here, Chargers. Now we are returned. Sorry, we're having a little bit of issues with the microphone. It's not acting right, so hopefully it's back now. But so now the Ravens are going to have the ball here with about 9:45 left to play in the first. Here, Chargers. Now we are returned. There we go. Now it's back. Lamar Jackson with a rush there. 5-yard gain, 6-yard gain looks like, and it's going to be second down Ravens.
You know, Lamar just always been a dual threat, great weapon, one of the best to ever do it already in his young career. His 25 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 53 rush yards per game, 261 pass yards per game is the best averages he's had in his entire career, and he's on his way to possibly snagging a third MVP. He's got a little bit more competition this year. Saquon Barkley and Josh Allen, always relevant. But he is well on his way, if the Ravens finish the year successfully, to getting this done.
Of course. And Derrick Henry, the big dog there, getting the first down here for the Ravens. And he's going to make this 1st and 10 here for the Ravens.
Well, Todd Monken running the offense beautifully this year. They're averaging 30.4 points per game. That's second in the entire league. On top of this, Derrick Henry's 13 touchdowns leads the entire NFL. And they're going to have their main guy, Tyler Linderbaum, active tonight as he's been dealing with some lingering back issues.
Yep. So here are the Ravens here on the 41. Jackson with the snap. Fakes up to Henry. Jackson looking down the field. And there he is.
Nelson Agholor.
With a beautiful play there. Aguilar with the catch. And that's going to be a first down Ravens.
Well, there is a flag on the play.
And there's going to be a penalty here on the Ravens. And that is going to be the first penalty of the game there, as it is an offensive penalty.
Ravens are the most penalized team in the league, and it's happened a lot on offense. Pat Ricard went low on that hit, and he really didn't need to. He should have just stayed up and went for the shoulder pads on Bud Dupree, the former Steeler. But unfortunately, he went down low and, just adds to the Ravens' ongoing penalty issues. So it's going to be 1st and 25 all the way back at the 26-yard line.
Jackson with the snap. Gives it to Henry. Henry's going to try and run up the middle here on 1st and 25. And he's going to get about a 2-yard gain, looks like. And this is going to put up 2nd and 23 here for the Ravens. And like you were saying, Stu, a very bad penalty there from the Ravens, setting them back 15 yards.
Yeah, and it takes away from a great pass and an even better catch by Nelson Agholor. Not pretty disappointing to see, but you know what? Just got to keep your head up and just go out there next snap, try and make something happen.
Of course. Now here's Jackson here on the 28. There's motion here. Jackson with it in the pocket. Bosa with pressure. Jackson, who's going to hit Andrews, and Andrews looks like he's going to get to about the 31 or the 32. And this is going to bring up 3rd down here for the Ravens. So crucial here that they get this 1st down here, or else this is going to be a very rough night for the Ravens.
Well, they certainly got to get at least close to the marker, give Jordan Stout a little bit of room to back the Chargers up in their own end, because the last thing you want is to give the Chargers good field position and allow that offense, who's already rolling, to kind of just go back down there and do it again.
Ravens with the snap. Jackson pressuring, throwing it down, and it's going to go out. And this is going to bring up 4th and 20 here, and the Ravens are going to bring out their kicking unit.
It just goes to show you how crucial that penalty was. Backed him up, put him in a really big disadvantage early on, 25 yards to go and to work with. You only get a couple little small chunks back out of it. Bringing up a 3rd and long, it's going to be very tough to convert that, especially when the Chargers only rush 3. So Jordan Stout, the punt unit, is going to be on, and we're going to see if he could try and boot it deep in the own Chargers end.
And the punt there from Stout. The Chargers are going to catch that at around the 22.
That was a great punt. Pinned them all the way back inside the 15. A 57-yard punt by Jordan Stout. Excellent job, and we're going to go to commercial.
And we'll be right back on the NBSB. Back here on the NBSB, Nicholas Bostico, Stu Palmero. And Stu, let's talk about this real quick. Obviously, the NFC North has been getting, or AFC North, excuse me, has been getting extremely competitive year after year. So, obviously, you know, it's a very tight race this year between the Steelers and the Ravens. But let's talk about the Bengals for a second. The Bengals, very disappointing this year so far. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, you had Jamar Chase with the whole contract issue and everything like that. But just haven't been performing well this year. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, overall, Cincinnati's has been pretty disappointing as Malik Harrison's going to get in there on the sack as Odafe Owe finishes him off. Nice job by the Ravens defense to get a little pressure on Herbert. But going back to the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Trey Hendrickson, they got the talent on the roster. The problem is building around those guys. They've really lacked a run game. They've lacked offensive line issues. The defense is severely underperforming, and it's cost them, like in games last week where Joe Burrow has another great game, another MVP-type performance, and the defense just can't get it done. So overall, Cincinnati's going to have to come pretty close to winning out to even be in the playoff consideration.
Yeah, definitely. And now here's Herbert on the 10. Backed up. Dobbins on a bad pass there. And this is going to bring 3rd and 13.
So now it's starting to look a little bit more like the Greg Roman offense that he was running at the end of his tenure in Baltimore with these little design plays, little screens. That time, Herbert just couldn't get the ball to Dobbins a little bit too far out of the outstretched hands of the number 27. And it's going to put the Chargers at an interesting spot. 3rd and 13. Do they play a little conservative here, try and run a little draw play, pick up some yardage, and give the punt team some breathing room? Or do you think they try and air it downfield and try and get something to happen?
You know, it's early in the game. They're up 7 right now. I wouldn't hate them testing different stuff. Now, there's Herbert here with a beautiful throw there. And it's going to be caught there from McConkey. And the Chargers are going to have a first down here at around the 20-yard line.
Well, Lad McConkey once again getting in there. He's been one of the Herbert's main guys this year in his rookie season. He's really doing a great job so far. That was another beautiful ball by Herbert, in the face of pressure. McConkey now comes off for a breather, but another first down for the Chargers. They're sixth of this first quarter already, as 5 minutes are left to play.
Looks like a running play is going to happen here as motion occurs, and now J.K. Dobbins, former Raven, coming up for about a 5-yard gain there.
Flag on the play.
And we'll see what this penalty is.
I think it might be a hold on the Chargers. It's going to go against Bradley Bozeman.
Yep. So this
or Zion Johnson, excuse me.
So this one's going to come back here. 4:57 left to play here in the first quarter.
The Chargers' offensive line has been a very big part of their success this year.
Oh, yeah.
Rashawn Slater, Zion Johnson, the great center, and Bradley Bozeman. And then you got Joe Alt as well on the right tackle. Control Alt Delete, one of the coolest nicknames in the game. He's been great so far for them. They got a very bright future with this O-line.
Of course.
And it works well when you have two good running backs.
Yeah. Here's Herbert. Herbert with it. With a throw and play to Dobbins. Dobbins running this one up as it's going to be about a 10-yard gain there.
And Kyle Van Noy got faked out very bad. He was unblocked on the left side, and Herbert kind of jerked it a little bit like he was going to tuck it and maybe run, but then he got rid of it to J.K. Dobbins, who was wide open in the flat. And the Chargers get 11 of those yards right back, right after they just got him taken away on the hold. So it will set up a second and manageable.
Yep. 4:07 left to play here in the first quarter.
See Kyle Hamilton on the big screen, number 14. He's been absolutely incredible since coming up. One of my favorite players to watch.
With a flip play to Dobbins. Dobbins trying to get the first down here. He's going to be just shy, and it's going to be about a 4-yard gain here. And it's going to be third down here for the Chargers.
I kind of saw a missed holding call there on Josh Palmer on the Chargers. It seemed like he was kind of holding up Chris Board, the veteran middle linebacker. But nonetheless, didn't get too much. Dobbins gets it a little closer to make this a more third down and manageable.
Yep. And Dobbins coming off for a breather here. 3rd and 5, 3:19 left to play in the first.
Ravens showing blitz in the pre-snap. Looks like Herbert just called an audible.
Herbert with the snap. Herbert in motion. And the target there.
Nate Wiggins in on the incompletion there, knocking that ball free at the end. Knocking it out of the hands of Jalen Reagor, the former Eagle first-round pick. And an excellent play by the young rookie out of Clemson, Nate Wiggins. Laid a big hit there.
Yeah, and that's going to create 4th down for the Chargers, as it looks like they will be sending their kicking team out, and the Ravens getting to reset here.
And now the Chargers going to get called for a false start as they set up for their first punt of the day. Tylan Wallace will be doing the returning for the Ravens. The great left sideline warrior for the Ravens. He's had 2 massive plays in his career, and both times he tiptoed his way down the sideline. The one catch against the Bengals earlier this season on Thursday Night Football a couple weeks back. And then last year, the big punt return in overtime against the Rams. Definitely always interesting to watch what Tylan Wallace is going to do when he gets a chance to return.
Of course.
So here's the punt team, and they're going to boot it away.
J.K. Scott with a kick that with a punt there.
Calls a fair catch at the 32.
And it looks like a flag was thrown down at around the 25. Not sure what this one is going to be for, but here comes the call here.
Well, a game of many flags so far, that's for sure. Seen a lot of penalties. After the first drive, it was completely clean. Ever since then, we've kind of had a flag on every other play.
Yep. And it looks like hat thrown here from the ref. Yikes. Yeah, that's a bad penalty right there from the Ravens. That's excessive, honestly, at that point.
Nate Wiggins getting a little ahead of himself, kind of pushed the Chargers' special team defender completely out of bounds and kind of yanked at his collar a little bit too. certainly not a good look as it's going to get called 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. So 7-0 Chargers still with about 2:57 left to play. And like we were talking about in the AFC North, it's a very competitive battle here right now. Obviously, the Bengals, they're 4-7. The Browns are not having the best of years. They're 3-8, but they had Nick Chubb out for first 5 weeks. So not saying that's their whole team, but I'm saying he plays a pretty big crucial role for that team. So the Steelers have obviously they've been playing very good, especially even after, Deontay Johnson, who was their wide receiver one, he departed the team a couple seasons ago to play with the Panthers. Now, obviously, he's with the Ravens. So it's definitely very interesting here to see what's been going on and the changes that have been going around in the AFC North.
Oh, yeah, and the Steelers really have had a very solid season. Some people argue they've overperformed, but after watching how they played last week and how they played against the Commanders, they're really just a very well-coached team. At the end of the day, that's what's going to win football games, and it's put them right in the thick of it in the first place conversation as they lead the Ravens now. And a tough loss in the snow against Cleveland on Thursday. So it makes this game even more of a must-win for the Ravens if they want to get back into the divisional conversation, because there is that one head-to-head they have left in Week 16 on Saturday, December 1st, when the Steelers come to town to play the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. And overall, just going to be a hard-fought battle to the end, and it's really going to come down to that Week 16 matchup, and probably the two after that.
Yeah, 100%. As we're seeing here, the Harmon brothers, who, their first battle in a very long time here. Obviously, they battled it out in Super Bowl 47. And, that was a very interesting Super Bowl. Like, we were talking about that earlier today,
Oh, yeah, Ravens got off to the huge lead, and they were up 28-6. Then the lights go out of nowhere. Gazillion-dollar company and your lights go out. That's a little questionable, and it got the Niners right back in the game. But it did give us one of the instant classics of our time and of last decade. Just a great Super Bowl. Rest in peace, Jacoby Jones. He had a great performance. Should have won MVP, but all love and all respect to Joe Flacco. Great playoff run that he had. 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. Threw for 1,100 yards. Near perfect passer, and just a great Super Bowl run, and sending Ray Lewis out with a Super Bowl win was a special year.
Of course. Now here's Jackson with the snap here. Jackson handing it off to Henry. Henry, who's going to have about a 5-yard rush before coming down to about the 20-yard line.
And that's the key in this game between the Harbaugh brothers. The first time matching up with each other since that Super Bowl. But a big part of this game is Derrick Henry running that ball and just continually pounding it up the middle, because the more and more you do that, the more you're going to wear the Chargers defense out, and then you're going to set up the big run for Henry come third quarter or so.
Of course. Here's the Chargers here playing zone. And Jackson with the snap. Jackson looking down. Targeted there to Zay Flowers, as that's going to be overthrown, and now it's going to be 3rd and 5 here for the Ravens.
Yeah, not a great pass by Lamar there. He had a little bit of pressure on him, but overall, a very tight window to throw to Flowers. On the defense, they were all over him. It really wasn't the best decision to go to, but overall, Zay Flowers, great receiver. See if they get him a little bit more involved in the game.
And Henry coming off of the field. Jackson with the snap. Jackson with it. Looking down the field.
And whoa! No flags.
Very
somehow, as Deontay Johnson kind of got ripped down in the process of that throw. But to be fair, the throw really wasn't in the area of Deontay Johnson.
That's fair, yeah.
And still in there again.
I don't know. I'm going to argue that, Stu. I think that might have been a trip there. I think Johnson might have tripped over himself.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't hate the no call there. Kind of was away from the ball. I don't think he was going to have a chance to catch it anyways. So a tough go of it for the Ravens. Stout going to kick it away.
And now here come the Chargers, who are not going to call a fair catch there. And here come the Chargers moving up the field here. And that is going to be a great drive there from the Chargers. And that's going to be Davis there, who's going to have about a 20-yard return there.
Yeah, excellent return. Slipped out of multiple tackles there. He really was just a couple tackle breaks away from getting out of it completely. But minute 59 left in the first quarter, and we're looking at a 7-0 Chargers lead as they're going to get the ball back.
Of course. So 7-0 Chargers at the end of the first quarter here, and we'll be right back on the NBSB. Welcome back to the NBSB, and we're looking at the AFC playoff picture here like we were talking about earlier. The Chargers, who are 7-3 right now, they're in the wild card spot, but like we said, they're probably not going to be moving anywhere most likely.
Little end around.
And here's a rush there from J.K. Dobbs. About a 2-yard gain, second down here for the Chargers.
Darius Davis in there on the run. And, we're talking about the Ravens offense. Ever since the beginning of last week, they've kind of had a very hard time moving the ball. Only 20 yards tonight and 4 minutes of possession. The Chargers are beating them in the first down battle 6-1. And it's very obvious so far. Obviously, the Ravens haven't really hit their stride since that game a couple weeks back against Cincinnati. And it's pretty obvious.
Herbert to Dobbs. Dobbs running this one up for about a 4-yard gain there as he stopped at around 43.
Bunch of Ravens in on the tackle. Trenton Simpson, Malik Harrison were there.
And obviously, like we said, the Ravens have not been having a great start here so far. They only have 1 first down, and they have already taken the first 2 penalties of the game.
And, revisiting the J.K. Dobbins situation, every year he had with the Ravens, when he was on the field, he was great tough runner, always good at breaking tackles. This season, he finally is healthy, having a full season. I couldn't be happier for him. Shout out J.K. Dobbins. We love you in Baltimore. We miss you.
Yep. Here's Dobbs with a run there, and a beautiful run there. So he's going to get about what looks to be at least a 20-yard rush there. Could be more. And that is a first down there for the Chargers, as the Chargers are going to be past the 50-yard line and what looks to also be into the Ravens' end, past their 40 as well. A beautiful rush there from Dobbs, as Dobbs was able to, go right through the Ravens' defense, and he's going to be down at around 38.
And he's running with aggression. He's running hard. He wants to get back at his former team. They made the decision to go to Derrick Henry. Little uncertainty with his injury past, but he's having a great season so far, and he's really carrying it into this game against a really good Ravens rush defense.
Yeah, and that is going to conclude the end of the first quarter. Excuse us for that. And obviously, the Ravens, they haven't had the best start, like we were saying. But the Chargers have been playing very well right now. And, like you were saying earlier, is there a little bit of revenge in J.K. Dobbs?
Oh yeah,
Probably.
very big revenge game for a lot of guys on the Chargers side. When Jim Harbaugh was given the reins in the coaching position for the Chargers, you really saw he really went and targeted a lot of his brother's former pieces, and that doesn't just it's not just limited to the players. He went and got Greg Roman, got some other staff personnel, and then a lot of former Ravens players. You got Dobbins, you got Bozeman, you got Edwards, you got Tony Jefferson on the defense. A lot of former Ravens who were very loved in their time with Baltimore, got a very good reputation, and Harbaugh picked him up on the Chargers, and he's running a very good, very tight ship this year. He's done a great job in his first year back since moving to college, and these Chargers in the thick of the playoff race. And just to revisit the playoff race situation, you look at the wild card, and it is loaded with 7-win teams. Chargers in the 5 seed at 7-3. Ravens in the 4 seed at 7-4. Broncos coming off a win in Las Vegas. They're staying right in the thick of it at 7-5, looking to make a push to try and get themselves in the playoff spot.
Yeah.
So this is really a big game for both of these teams tonight.
Yeah. So Stu, obviously with Justin Tucker, he's the current longest active serving player for the Ravens right now. He's been on the team for more than 10 years, still active right now. A lot of fans have been disappointed in his performance this year compared to his last couple years. What are your thoughts on Justin Tucker right now?
Well, it's been an incredible career for Justin Tucker. He's done so much for this franchise and has set so many records. He has the longest field goal record with that 66-yard field goal in Detroit back in 2021. Moment I'll never forget. Shout out, Mom, if you're watching. We watched that at Buffalo Wild Wings. It was a great moment. But overall, Justin Tucker is a seasoned veteran. And when players like this are going through hard times, it is so important for them to remember their roots and remember where they started and remember just how remarkable a career they have had. And if it is time for Tucker to hang it up after the season, there's no saying he cannot turn it around with 6 games left in this season. He hasn't gotten He has not gotten an attempt tonight yet, but he did talk about making adjustments and trying to avoid pushing the ball left, which he has done on multiple occasions. And I really have a lot of faith that Justin Tucker is going to get this figured out, and he's going to finish the season strong.
Yeah. Herbert, lost in the pocket. There's Dobbs. Dobbs is going to be running up there on another great rush there for Dobbs as he's going to get to about the 20. He's going to get about a 6-yard gain there as he had a little bit of confrontation there with Marvin Humphrey.
Yeah, chirping it up with the old teammate Marlon Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey is a big talker himself, always on the podcast, so J.K. Dobbins getting a little dicey. They're friends off the field, but as long as they're in this game and Dobbins is so motivated to play well and win, he's going to talk his talk.
Herbert to Edwards. Edwards trying to get the first, and he's going to be just short.
Set up a 3rd and short here. Very dynamic running back duo there, and we talked about it earlier, but once you take away the speed and you kind of change away the speed of J.K. Dobbins, you go right back into that physical aspect of Gus Edwards. It's going to tire the defense out because there's only so much you could do trying to stop those two very dynamic aspects of running a good run offense.
Of course. And Edwards staying out there, Dobbins still on the side. Trying to get the first down here, 3rd and 1, 13:42 left to play in the second. There's Herbert to Edwards. Edwards, does he get it? He might be short.
They're going to mark him short. It's going to be 4th and inches. The Ravens kind of loaded up the box there, saw the very run-heavy set on offense. And it's going to bring up an early decision time here for Jim Harbaugh if he wants to go for it on 4th and inches or if he wants to stay conservative and kick for points and try and go up by 10. But he's not going to do that. He's going to go right back at the Ravens, who are looking visually a little bit tired already.
Yeah, and here's Herbert. I would not be shocked if the Chargers get this. Herbert. Give it to Edwards. Edwards is going to get it. He will for about a 2-yard gain there. And the Chargers are going to get another first down.
Yeah, another. You don't have to do too much. 4th and 1. You got your big guy. You got your fullback. You got a loaded offensive line. Great job by Matlock, the fullback, to cause a little chaos there in motion there. And they kind of just handed it to Edwards. Only needed a yard. Went right up the middle and just extended his arms forward to grab that first down, which is going to set the Chargers up in very good field position here.
Of course, of course. 12-27 in the second. Herbert in the pocket, looking for a target. He's going to flip it to Dobbins again. Dobbins with about a 3-yard receiving play there. And it's going to be 2nd and 7 or 6.
Yeah, a little shovel forward to J.K. Dobbins. So far, what I will give the Ravens defense is they haven't given Herbert a lot of options of where to pass, other than the couple times McConkey, found himself open. They've been playing pretty tight in terms of the pass game. And like I said, this run game is what's going to win this football game, and the Chargers have just dominated on the ground. They're averaging over 6 yards a carry, and it's been pretty hard to stop so far. So we'll see what they do here with an empty set on 3rd down.
Herbert with the look and almost a beautiful catch there from Quentin Johnson. And that would have been a touchdown there, but there was some great defense there.
Nate Wiggins, the rookie out of Clemson, once again in there on the play, and he's just had a very stellar rookie year. Of all the down spots on the Chargers offense, Nate Wiggins, or on the Ravens defense rather, excuse me, Nate Wiggins has been a really big bright spot. He's been great in pass defense, and he's really just playing a solid corner position. So shout out Nate Wiggins, doing some great stuff early.
On the 24 here, Herbert in the pocket. Snap. There's Herbert. Almost with the target to Dobbins, but that's some great defense there from Board. And this is going to create 4th and 7 here, and the Chargers will almost indefinitely bring out Cameron Dicker here to make this a 10-0 game.
Well, you know what? He went back to his safety blanket again. J.K. Dobbins was kind of a little bit over his head there on the pass. Ravens brought great pressure. Dafe Owe came flying around the edge, coming off a great performance in Pittsburgh. Our Ravens are going to try and hold him to 3.
Yeah. And the kick here from Dicker, and it's going to be good. So this is going to be 10-0 Chargers. And a great start here from the Los Angeles Chargers here. Jim Hardaway, also, he's happy right now.
Oh, yeah. 0-2 in his career against his brother. This game means a lot to him. He wants to get the win back in the NFL. Coaching again. It's gonna be a game for sure. The Ravens offense now is gonna get an opportunity to come back out and try and make something happen here. But overall, not a great start for the Ravens on offense or defense. But we'll see if Mr. Lamar Jackson could come out and do the MVP things we're so used to seeing him do.
Of course. So it's going to be 10-0 Chargers here when we return on the NBSB. You're watching the NBSB. I'm Nicholas Bostico alongside Stu Pomero. We'll be right back. And we are back here on the NBSB. And 10-0 Chargers here in the second quarter. Chargers been playing very good, using J.K. Dobbins to their advantage here.
You know, using a little Ravens weapon against them. J.K. Dobbins having a great night so far. And we're going to see if the Ravens offense can try and pick it up here. Look at the time of possession so far in this game, and it's been lopsided. And we're only 20 minutes in, but the Chargers are winning this time of possession about 15-4 roughly. So definitely been a little one-sided here. We'll see if the MVP, Mr. Lamar Jackson, and very dynamic offense of the Ravens can get going here against a very good Chargers defense, who is first in the league in points per game.
Yep. And there is the Ravens offense coming up now.
Show and run. Big tight end set here. Got the fullback in.
And Jackson with it.
So he's calling the audible.
Yeah.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, there's Tucker on the side there. Very interesting. He's already out there. And he's going to hand it off to Henry. Henry trying to find a play here. He does. He's going to get about a 15-yard gain and more, as he's going to get to about the 48-yard line there. And that looks like that's going to be about a 23-yard rush there for Mr. Derrick Henry.
You know, overall, very good play design. Derrick Henry had a nice hole open up right away. Excellent blocking right off the right side, and just doing what the Ravens doing what they need to do to just get this offense going again. Just keep giving it to Henry, and they can make some great things happen.
Yeah, and that's going to be a first down for the Ravens, their second of the game. Here's Jackson. Jackson to Henry. Henry with another first down and more for about a 14-yard gain there. And Henry with 37 yards combined in just two carries there.
You know, excellent job by the Ravens. Read the Chargers defense very well. Ricard in there with a beautiful block. Falele there. Excellent hole opening up. And once Derrick Henry gets running downhill, it's very hard to stop, because he just drags the defensive backs with him.
Yeah. Jackson again. Oh, nope. This time to Justice Hill. Justice Hill is going to have about a 5-yard gain there.
So, good job by the Ravens trying to pick things up again. You know, run game seems to be going a little better tonight. Derrick Henry's 5 carries for 46 yards. And Ravens, maybe starting to get something going here.
Yeah, of course. Come a little closer to the mic. And now, here is Jackson setting up the play.
Kolar motion. Another audible.
Justice Hill in the backfield. Play action. Jackson sending this one deep and almost caught there.
Great defense by Gilman. You know, one-on-one matchup. Lamar's always going to take that chance. Seemed like it hit Bateman in the hands a little bit, but Gilman was all over him. And a great pass breakup to set up a third down and short for the Ravens.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful look there from Jackson, too. Such great defense there from the Chargers defense. And would you argue that was potentially maybe a little bit of PI?
There was a little bit of pass interference there for sure. He really didn't turn around to look for the ball, but, another play doesn't get called in the Ravens' favor. Nothing they're not used to.
Yeah. Jackson with the snap. Here's Jackson. Going for the rush. No, he's going to throw it there, and a catch there from the tight end Mark Andrews. And that's going to be a first down, as it's going to be at around the 11-yard line. And so the Ravens put themselves inside the red zone for the first time of the game here, and putting them within just 11 yards away from the end zone with a 1st and 10 coming up.
Great catch by Andrews there. He almost dropped it, but he pinned it on his side a little bit. Great job. Great way to haul it in and gain control before he went out of bounds. And the Ravens are now set up nice in red zone territory.
Yep. Derrick Henry coming back out onto the field. Jackson, hand it off to Henry. Henry going to move up, and he's going to get the first down there. 5 yards away from the end zone. So about maybe 4-ish, actually.
Another great run by Derrick Henry. Ravens sticking to what they know they could do and use effectively. Henry had another big hole up the middle. Ravens with great run blocking. Now they're set up right inside the 5.
Yep. And here is Henry and Jackson. Obviously, they've been a great duo this year so far. On the 5-yard line, 1st and goal here for the Ravens. There's Henry, a flag being thrown, and Henry's going to get into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Ravens coming to celebrate, so it looks like this one might be on the Chargers.
It's a legal formation on the Ravens. So yet another penalty on the offense. And they're going to have to redo this first down play.
So now it's going to be still 1st and goal, but the Ravens are going to be on the 10 now. Right? 10-yard line? Yeah.
Yep, Ravens going to get knocked back 5 yards. And
yeah. So now they're on the 10 here. Jackson still with Henry.
He has 3 guys around him. So looking like it's going to be a run or a very cool design play here. We'll see what they go. Lamar's got the ball.
With the rush here, will he get into the end zone? Jackson, touchdown Ravens. Lamar Jackson with a 10-yard rushing play into the end zone. And the Ravens are going to make this one 6-10. Coming up with Justin Tucker with the PAT coming up.
Excellent design play. They created a lot of confusion. Had Ricard to his left, likely to his right. Derrick Henry, a little fake run. And, when Henry carries the ball so much, you can't help but really think that he's going to take it in himself. But Lamar really not keeping the ball a lot and running for inside the 20 this year since they've had Henry. And kind of got the Chargers sleeping there a little bit. So excellent drive by the Ravens. 7 plays for 70 yards in just 3.5 minutes. So a great response by the Ravens offense to get them right back in this game.
And Tucker nailing the extra point there, making this one 7-10 Ravens. Chargers, excuse me. And that is like you were saying, Stu, that was a great drive there from the Ravens. An excellent response there in this second quarter as they had a very rough first quarter. Lamar Jackson, 10-yard rushing touchdown, 7-10 Chargers, 7:45 left to play in the second quarter when we return on the NBSB. You're watching the NBSB with Nick Bostico
and Stu Palermo.
Welcome back, everybody, to NBSB here. Ravens with a great touchdown there from Lamar Jackson. 7-10 Chargers, as the Chargers are going to go back on offense here. And that is, not the ideal start that the Ravens have usually had this season. But it's a great response, though. And the Chargers are setting up here to go back on offense.
Yeah, another very good touchdown drive by the Ravens. They kind of went right back to their bread and butter and just ran the ball right at the Chargers. Lamar has only gotten 2 completions so far tonight. It's been a big rushing game night as predicted, and definitely good to see the Ravens and the offense kind of get back on track there. A big touchdown drive, nice and quick, and we'll see if the Ravens defense can respond now to what the Chargers have done so far.
Yeah, of course. Herbert in the pocket here. Motion. Herbert going deep, and he's going to hit Davis there, and he's going to have a little bit of commotion there. He's going to have about a 1-yard gain there. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 9.
And you go back and look at all the Ravens' former guys there. 5 players, and then 6 guys in the front office and coaching staff. Joe Hortiz, Andy Bischoff, Jesse Minter, Mike Devlin, and Mark Trestman, as well as Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator. Mark Trestman, obviously offensive coordinator for the Ravens 8 years ago. Can't forget about him.
Herbert in the pocket, moving now with the throw, and there's a first down there.
Josh Palmer.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Josh Palmer. Beautiful catch there. And that's going to be a first down there for the Chargers.
Ravens brought a lot of pressure there, and Herbert was just able to buy enough time by escaping the pocket, rolling out left. Found Palmer right there, tipping his toes on the sideline as 6:30 is left to play in the second quarter.
There's Herbert. And he's going to get it to Edwards. Edwards trying to do something here, and I think nothing's going to come up there. If anything, he's going to have a loss of yards, but it looks like he's going to be still in the same spot.
Travis Jones in there on the tackle, former UConn defensive lineman. He's been a very big part of the Ravens' run stops, especially with Michael Pierce out for a good majority of this season. And in Jones's rookie year, Michael Pierce missed nearly the entire season with torn biceps, and Travis Jones, as a rookie, was expected to step up. He's adapted well to this Ravens defense, and really is having a good start to his career.
Herbert steps back in the pocket, and there's a beautiful catch there.
Will Dissly.
Will Dissly, yeah. And it's going to be 3rd and 1 here, as the Chargers trying to get a first down here.
And another beautiful display of pocket presence by Justin Herbert, really aware of what's going on and collapsing around him, and he once again makes something out of nothing.
Yep.
Saw Matabike flying up the middle there, wearing his jersey tonight. Mr. Nnamdi Matabike coming off that huge 13-sack season, which is pretty remarkable for a defensive tackle.
Herbert to Dobbins. Dobbins trying to get that first, but he's going to be stopped there by Harrison, but there's going to be a flag on the play here. So it looks like it's going to be in favor of the Chargers from the reaction of Jim Hardman. Any decision. No, it's not going to be in favor of the Chargers. No, it will be. No, it won't be. Sorry.
It goes against Tucker Fisk. He got a little face mask there, or a little hold on Kyle Van Noy. It was pretty obvious. He was kind of just hugging him from around. And Malik Harrison with a great way to stop J.K. Dobbins. It was pretty obvious that there was nothing really on the Ravens there. I was afraid they might have gotten Malik Harrison with a little bit of a horse collar. But nonetheless, it's going to set up a 3rd and long for the Chargers. They'll replay 3rd down.
3rd and 11 here. 4:47 left to play in the half. Here's Herbert in the pocket. Herbert with a throw there, and it's going to be caught by McConkney.
Chris Board once again in on the tackle, not having a bad game at all. And the Ravens are going to get this ball back with a comfortable amount of time to play in this half. We'll see if they try and run the clock a little bit and try and run the ball right at the Chargers again like they have been doing the whole night.
You think that's the move, Stu?
100%. They got to keep running the ball, try and keep the ball away from the Chargers the rest of this half. The Ravens do get the ball up for the second half. They could score a touchdown here. They could really set themselves up in a nice position to try and take over this game come the second half.
And the Chargers punt this one away here. And the Chargers are going to hold the Ravens to about the 7-yard line here.
And a great punt by Scott.
Yeah, definitely. And so that's going to create a very deep hole here for the Ravens, who are going to be at the 7-yard line in their end. So obviously, I think the first move here for the Ravens is probably a passing play. But obviously, with Derrick Henry, he's been moving very well now already. He's playing up to performance now. So I think it's very interesting. It could go either way, but this is definitely crucial what happens here on this first play of this drive.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely very big for the Ravens here. Back at their own 7-yard line, they're going to have to try and not allow what happened last week with the Isaiah Likely fumble inside the 20 with a little bit to go in the first half. Cannot have anything like that happen again. Protect the football. I'd actually disagree with your point on passing the ball. I'd go right back at them with the run because the last thing you want is to create a situation where the Chargers are set up in a great field position to score again.
Yeah, I can see that, but you got to test out Zay Flowers, But no, I definitely agree with that point, though. Derrick Henry doing very good on the rushing side of the ball. So I actually, you know what? I agree with that statement.
Yeah, but 100% you want to get Flowers and Bateman involved. They are very good receivers, and they've both taken a huge step up from last year, especially Bateman when you look at how he was used when Beckham was in the offense and the Ravens weren't really throwing to him much. Lamar has really established a good trust with Bateman now, and I think that if they could keep getting him involved, they could keep getting him going, he's going to finish this year with some great numbers.
Mm-hmm. And we'll be right back here on the NBSB. Lamar Jackson here in the pocket, handing it off to Henry. Henry, who's going to get about a 6-yard gain here.
Dragging defenders along just like he's done the whole night. And, he turned something that could have been only a 2-yard gain into a 5-yard gain.
Of course. And here's the Ravens. They're going to be set up here with 2nd and 5 with about little over 3 minutes left to play in this game. And SoFi Stadium roaring right now, trying to throw off the Ravens offense here.
Definitely fired up home crowd. Big game in LA. Ravens coming back here after the win they had last year. Let's go right back to Henry. He's going to get close to the first down. Going to be about a yard short. 3rd and 1 coming up.
That is like we were saying earlier, the Ravens, they've been using Henry to their advantage there, and as they should. Even like we were talking about earlier, a lot of people weren't full believers in the move with Derrick Henry going to the Ravens, but obviously he's been proven that he's adapting to this Ravens team very well, especially this early in the season.
And you look at the numbers with the Chargers late in the half, as Henry is going to be held short. It's going to be a big 3rd down stop, bring up a 4th down and short.
So here's the move, do the Ravens go for it here?
No, they can't go for it here, unfortunately, as much as you would like to. You're inside your own 20, and they're going to actually set up and go for it. Wow. maybe try and get the Chargers to jump off sides as the 2-minute warning's coming up. And we'll see if they get them to try and get the Chargers to jump.
2:10 left to play. And it looks like the Ravens are going to burn the clock out. And you're right, Sue. They did try to make them jump off sides. So the 2-minute warning is now up here. And the Ravens look like they will probably be kicking this one away here.
Yeah, they're going to be kicking this one away. Never a bad idea to try and get the other side to jump. When you're so deep in your own end, you got to try and just got to suck it up and just kick the ball away. And now they're going to have to rely on the defense to hopefully try and get a stop before half.
Of course. So now this one will put the Chargers in potential to make the score just a little bit more than what currently is. Like we were saying after the Ravens were able to stop the Chargers there, we thought the Ravens would probably take the advantage here before the half ended, but it looks like that's not going to be the case here.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. Ravens tried to go all 3 run plays there, and really didn't work. Chargers did a good job of adjusting. That 3rd and 1 stop was massive there for the Chargers. And now we'll see if the Stout could get another good punt away. If he could kick it deep and try and get them back to their own 30 or a little bit beyond, it would be very big for the Ravens defense, give them a little breathing room to work with. However, they've had a very good return game tonight. We saw a very nice return earlier on by Davis, I believe. So we'll see if he tries to get another big return, try and set the Chargers up in good field position.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, he had that big about 30-yard, 20-yard rush there on the I believe it was the second return of the game. So obviously the Chargers not afraid to rush the ball here too, especially with the very high intensity that we've seen from J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. So they're obviously not afraid to run with the ball tonight. And 2-minute warning here, as we'll be right back here on the NBSB. They got it?
And the Ravens are going to convert here on a direct snap to Mark Andrews. Very impressive and very aggressive. But the Ravens, really wanting to keep on with this ball and try and get this going. A little bit of their own version of the tush push. And Andrews had just enough to reach over for the first down.
Yep. And this is going to create first down here for the Ravens with about 1:30. And they still have all 3 timeouts and a bad play there as Jackson's going to be sacked for 2nd and 12 coming up here for the Ravens. And will they call a timeout?
J.K. Dobbins coming off the field as very interesting as he might be hurt. He was walking off on his own power, but we saw him go into the locker room there. That can't be good.
Jackson within the pocket. He's going to get it over to Hill, who Hill is going to have about a 10-yard gain there, as it's just going to create a 3rd and 2nd. 53 seconds left to play. Ravens not using a timeout yet.
No huddle as well.
Yeah, interesting. Here's Jackson. Jackson throwing, hits it to Flowers. Flowers on a big rush here. He's going to get to the 40, 45, and just short of the 50s. He's going to get to the 48 before he runs out of bounds. 37 seconds left to play in the second, and this is going to be 1st and 10 here for the Ravens at the 48 in their zone.
And wow, just an excellent play by Zay Flowers, making something happen after the catch and getting out of bounds on top of it. The Ravens stopping the clock here. They've ran the clock all the way down to try and avoid the Chargers getting the ball back with any time in this half. And overall, excellent clock management by the Ravens as they have all 3 timeouts and they're set up right near the 50.
And here's Jackson with Justice Hill. Justin Tucker on the sideline as the Ravens trying to get this ball into field goal territory. Jackson with a deep throw and the target to Bateman. And it's not going to be good there. But there is a flag on the play.
Looks like it's going to be a pass interference. He kind of tackled him before the ball even got there. And it might have looked like a little bit of a high throw by Lamar, but you kind of see why it was a little high because he was all caught up.
And it absolutely will be a pass interference penalty there. And the Ravens are going to be set up here at around the 40-yard line.
And it still did look like a high throw. That contact came in well before that the pass even got there, so not even a necessary hold there by the Chargers.
Yep. Jackson in the pocket, looking deep. Bateman down the field, and it's caught! A flag being thrown out here, but a beautiful 40-yard receiving touchdown there from Rashad Bateman. And the Ravens are going to go up 13-10 on the Chargers.
And wow, just an excellent throw and a great adjustment by Bateman, who once again was being held by Fulton. He was all over him, and Bateman just sticking with that ball the entire time. The flag came in right away. You knew it was against the Chargers. Rashad Bateman, what a catch. Talked about getting him and Flowers involved, and they pretty much just had made that whole entire drive happen for the Ravens. What a 93-yard touchdown drive for the Ravens before the half happens, and a game in which it looked like it was all Chargers early on. A couple of fast scoring drives for the Ravens, this time 8 plays on 93 yards to get them right in front, 14-10 with 24 seconds left in the first half. And a beautiful ball by Lamar Jackson.
And that is exactly why a lot of people like to make the argument that Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback in the league right now. As like you were talking about earlier in our pregame, Lamar Jackson seeking his potential third MVP of his career. So this is a great play there, and this is going to be 14-10 Ravens with about 20-ish seconds until the end of the half.
Yeah, just a very impressive pass by Lamar. He got it. The Ravens offense really got it together quickly. And, we were kind of talking about how they were having trouble getting going. And now it looks like the offense is completely in sync, getting around the penalties committed by the Chargers defense. And not even the pass interference was enough to stop Bateman from pulling that ball in.
Of course, and Lamar Jackson, his 19th straight game with a passing touchdown. And very impressive there from the young star quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens.
Not bad for a running back, as Lamar Jackson said himself. So we'll see. The Chargers have all 3 timeouts. They have 24 seconds. They could potentially get themselves in a field goal range and try and make something happen before the half. But do you think it would be smart to play a little conservatively and try to just run the clock out?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I said earlier, they were playing very well in the rushing side of the game, but their passing side not too well so far today. Herbert hasn't really been hitting his targets today. He has been hitting targets on the short side of the game, but not really the long ball. I wouldn't count out trying to go deep here, so I don't know if playing conservative is probably the key here. I think here, you only got 24 seconds left. You got all 3 timeouts. Just go for it,
And the Ravens still had all 3 of their timeouts left after that drive, which makes it all the more impressive that they got down that quickly to score that touchdown. And they call a timeout here to try and just reset the time, try and give them a little bit of a moment to talk things over.
Of course. And as you can see here, we have Joe Buck in the studio tonight for ESPN Monday Night Football.
Troy Aikman with him.
Troy Aikman with him as well, too. And, a lot of people like to talk not the greatest about Joe Buck. And what are your thoughts on that?
You know what? Joe Buck has been on both the right end and the wrong end of some of the all-time great plays. But He's a seasoned vet. He knows what he's doing. He's been great as he's gone on in his career. He's added a little bit more of an element to excitement to his game as he's gone on.
Of course, and there's Herbert there with about an 8-yard rush before he goes out of bounds to stop the clock. 17 seconds left to play in the half. And we're now hearing here that Dobbins has gone to the locker room due to a potential knee injury here. Questionable or not if he will be returning to the game, but that is not the best that you want to hear there for the Los Angeles Chargers.
And you just got to wonder if he kind of just re-triggered that lingering meniscus injury that he's had his whole career. And, he's kind of torn everything in his leg, so it could be a variety of things. As that ball is aired out downfield, looks like he might have had a potential big play with Josh Palmer, but he just missed him, overthrew him.
Yeah, Josh Palmer, obviously, he's been playing very well this season. And Herbert, obviously, a lot of people like to talk very nicely about his arm, especially how he played back at Oregon. And he's just going to be overthrowing Palmer there. So now this is going to create a 3rd and 2 here for the Los Angeles Chargers.
An impressive double move, too, by Josh Palmer. He really had a nice route on that ball. Kind of caught Ardarius Washington getting a little turned around. And by the time he got to that ball, it could have been a big play, potentially even a touchdown.
There's Herbert in the pocket there, and that is a beautiful catch there as he's going to hit the former Eagle, Jalen Reagor.
7 seconds to go in the half, trying to make something happen before this half occurs. And a great toe drag by Jalen Reagor, getting 2 feet down on the sideline, working on Nate Wiggins.
Cameron Dicker here on the side as the Chargers try to get him into field goal range.
They're only about 6-7 yards out of it from Dicker's career long. If they could get this ball to the 42 or so, they could maybe get a field goal here. But the Ravens are going to call timeout and try and slow things up.
Yeah, honestly, if you just get a first down here, I think that puts Dicker right in a good spot. And Herbert, like we said, hasn't been playing amazing there in the passing game, but just right there with a beautiful play there to Jalen Reagor. And almost a game-changing play there to Joshua Palmer. Very interesting touchdown celebration on that first play there from the first touchdown there from Herbert.
Oh yeah, doing a little bit of the you can't punch the ball out on me.
Of course. Herbert in the pocket, and a throw and a beautiful catch there to Joshua Palmer, and that looks like that's going to put Cameron Dicker in field goal range, and there's going to be a timeout called here by the Chargers.
I really don't understand what the Ravens were doing. It seemed like they didn't even try and rush him. It seemed like they were just trying to cause confusion, but you kind of just have 5 guys standing there. And another great job by Herbert of threading the needle, finding his man Josh Palmer downfield, and is going to set up Cameron Dicker for a more manageable field goal attempt. As I think this one's only going to be from 50, I believe, 52.
That's still very good there for Cameron Dicker. And a timeout from the Ravens trying to ice Cameron Dicker.
Icing the kicker, Cameron Dicker.
I like it. I like it. And that is some great time management there as well from Justin Herbert.
Yeah, got to give them a lot of credit. They only had 24 seconds to work with. Only ended up managing using one of their timeouts. The Ravens didn't use any of the timeouts on the last drive, as previously mentioned, so they've definitely strategically taken theirs over the course of these past 24 seconds. We'll see if the Chargers could try and make this a 1-point game going into the halftime.
Cameron Dicker lined up. The snap. The kick. It's up. It's good. Field goal there from Cameron Dicker. And the Chargers are going to make this one 13-14 at the half.
Overall, great half of football so far. You can tell both of these brothers do not want to lose this game. They want to get bragging rights at the Harbaugh Thanksgiving table in 3 days. Lamar Jackson heading to the locker room. We'll see what the Ravens and the Chargers cook up for the second half, but we're in store for a great rest of this game.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. And that is going to be the end of our first half here on the NBSB. You're here watching the NBSB with Nicholas Bostico.
And Stu Palermo.
And we'll be right back in about 5 minutes. here on the NBSB. You're here with Nicholas Bosco and Stu Palermo. Stu will be right back. He is going to be joining us for the third quarter very shortly here. We have about 14 to 13 here, and the third quarter starting up now. We just changed this, and we are underway here for the start of the third quarter. And the Ravens are going to be starting off the quarter here with a nail. And the Ravens, timeouts resetting. Sorry, I didn't do this prior. Should have done this earlier. It's all good, though. It's all good. 14-13 Ravens here as the Ravens have a kneel touchback for the start. And the Ravens are going to be set up here on their 25. Bateman with a great touchdown earlier here as Lamar sets up here with Henry. Here's Lamar. Lamar with an audible here. Lamar with snap to Henry. Henry trying to get a drive up here, so he's going to have about a 3-yard gain there. And this is going to create 2nd and 7 to start this third quarter out. 14:50 left to play in the second quarter. And the Ravens are going to come up here for 2nd down. Harmon Brothers still battling out today as they want the bragging rights after this one. This is their own little Super Bowl here today. As here is Jackson set up on the left side. Nope, Jackson right there. Jackson getting it to Hill. Hill, who's going to have negative yards there, as he's going to lose 2 yards there. And it's going to be it's going to be 3rd down here as the Ravens trying to get a 1st down here. They only had 2 first downs at the start of the second. They now have 7. Chargers now leading the game with penalties as well. And here's Jackson. Jackson in the pocket, who's going to get it over to Andrews. And Andrews just enough here to get a 1st down. And that's going to be what looks like about a 5-yard gain here for Andrews. And Baltimore with their first down of the half. There's a great flip there from Jackson to Andrews. And a great opportunity there, and a really good luck there from Jackson as well. Here's Jackson with it in the snap. Lamar Jackson to Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, who's going to have about a 4-yard gain there. 12:57 left to play in the second. Excuse me, in the third. Apologies there. 2nd and 7 here. And for our first half report here, the Ravens offense, 8 plays in the first and 20 yards. In their last 2 drives, they had 15 plays, 156 yards, and 2 touchdowns there. One coming from Jackson, the other one coming from Bateman. Jackson lined up in the pocket. Hands it off to Henry, and Henry gets a loss of yards there after a great play there from the Chargers. They're just going to create 3rd and about 10. And Tart with a great play there as he's going to crash right through the Ravens offensive line. He's going to come right through Patrick McCarry and Tyler Linderbaum. And this is going to create 3rd down here, 3rd and 10 for the Ravens. Jackson lined up with Hill. The snap, Jackson in the pocket. Is pressured here by Bosa. Jackson sending this one deep. Caught by Zay Flowers. And a beautiful catch there from Zay Flowers to get the 1st down here for the Ravens. That's got to be at least a 20-yard passing 1st down there for Zay Flowers. And the Ravens get their 9th 1st down of the game. Beautiful there coming from the young star wide receiver in Zay Flowers there, as he's going to absolutely burn out what looks to be the Chargers defense, and he's going to find a beautiful play there as he gets that. Here's Jackson lined up in the pocket. Jackson now making a run for it. He's going to go deep, and almost an interception there from Jackson as the target was Flowers. And welcome back to the show, Stu. How we doing?
A little bit of a water shortage in Mother Teresa Hall at Sacred Heart University. No water fountains. Breaking news: no water fountains in Mother Teresa at Sacred Heart University. But the show goes on. We will do this with a dry mouth the rest of the night. I'm happy to be on the stream here, Nick. Thank you so much for having me. I apologize for my tardiness for the second half, but good to see the Ravens are in a nice field position.
Yep. And we saw a beautiful catch there from Zay Flowers. And here's Jackson. Jackson trying to make a run for it, but he's going to get sacked there. And it's going to be about a loss of what looks to be a yard or two.
Well, yeah, Lamar had an opening to the left, and he tried to sneak it up the middle. Maybe just didn't see the hole to the left, or to the right, or the left, rather. We'll see if Lamar could try and dial something up here on 3rd and long, because they are in Justin Tucker's field goal range. And we might get a chance to see if Tucker's going to get a test here. But if Lamar has anything to say about it, he's going to want that first down, try and hammer that ball inside the red zone.
Of course. As Jackson here lined up on the 33. Here's Jackson with it. It's going to flip it over to Flowers. Flowers trying to get a first down here. He's going to fall just short, so this is going to create 4th and what looks to be either 3 or 4. So now the Ravens are going to come off the field, and it looks like Justin Tucker is going to come out for a field goal here for the Ravens. This would make it 17-13.
And we're about to look at Justin Tucker, who's really just had struggles from this season so far. You look at how many times he's missed, and he's just been missing wide to the left a lot. So his whole entire goal is to try and set up and try and go more to the right. It's almost been every single time he has been has missed this year. It's been to the left. And that kicks on its way. Perfect.
Beautiful there, and that's going to be 17-13 Ravens. And Stu, we were a little bit, obviously after the Cameron Dicker field goal for earlier, the first one, we were a little confused there what was going on with the Ravens, but it looks like the Ravens are back on track now.
Oh, yeah, Justin Tucker right down the middle there, set up on the right hash, nice and easy for him. I think the Ravens planned for that, try and get the ball out to the right side so they could give Tucker a more favorable spot to kick the football. And Justin Tucker just doing Justin Tucker things. Excellent job by him to go right back in there and bounce back. Nice field goal right down the middle. And if we go back to if we go back to what's going on in the first half, how big was that 4th down conversion on their own end?
That was amazing.
I feel like that just changed the entire complexity of the game.
Of course. That was very crucial there for the Ravens, and that's, I think, what's been probably one of the ground things of the game so far tonight.
Yeah, the way the Chargers are moving the football. They punt that ball away. The Chargers had all that time to work with, all those timeouts. This could be a very different game if it wasn't for that. They could be up by 2 scores right now for all we know. So excellent decision-making by Harbaugh and the Ravens to go for it and try and hit the Chargers right in the mouth. And now they're right back up by 4 points where they were.
Yep. So 17-13 Ravens when we return here on the NBSB. Back here on the NBSB now. And another thing is, like we were talking about earlier, Dobbins, who went to the locker room earlier for a potential knee injury, is still in the locker room.
Yeah, Dobbins, it's going to be a huge loss for the Chargers offense if they can't get him back out there. He added so much complexity to what was going on in the dynamic Chargers offense, and you see him running on the sidelines. I think that he has potential to come back in this game. You just don't want to risk anything with the history of all those knee injuries that he's had. So it's going to be interesting to see if he comes back.
Tucker in the pocket here. And there is a play there, as it looks like. Not sure who he hit there. Yeah. That's what it seems like. Malik Harris.
Grab this year.
Yeah.
It was Fisk on the catch and Malik Harrison on the tackle. Harrison kind of leveled him. You kind of thought that he was about to go in and just take out Ardarius Washington. A very big size disadvantage there, but didn't see Harrison coming from the side, and Harrison laid a big boom on him to the left. We'll see if the Ravens defense can hold up here as the Chargers offense tries to get going again.
Herbert to Edwards, and Edwards stopped there.
Harrison again. Big play by Malik. And you know what? He's been very criticized this season, and a lot of people called for his release and wanted him off this roster, saying that he should not be seen in the field. And tonight, he's kind of going against all those, all the naysayers. He just had a huge back-to-back tackles there, and he's got the Ravens at third down on defense single-handedly. 3rd and 5, Justin Herbert.
There's Herbert. Herbert in the pocket with the throw and caught there by Joshua Palmer. And he's going to convert for the first down.
Yeah, great job again by Herbert to stay in the pocket, trust his offensive line, buying him just enough time once again. And, you know, anytime Herbert has a couple of seconds, he's going to get that ball in there. Very impressive quarterback play by Herbert. Very nice play by Palmer, too, getting away from Wiggins, who has been so locked down tonight. And it seems like they're really picking on Nate Wiggins early on.
Yeah. Now here's Herbert, who's going to get to Haskins. Haskins with a drive there, as that's going to be about a 3-yard gain there for Haskins.
Harrison on the tackle once more. Got 3 tackles on this drive alone. And, you know, go through Herbert's career numbers through Week 11 this season. He is a 897 completion quarterback. He's stacked up 10,000 yards, 76 passing touchdowns to just 20 interceptions. Really remarkable season for Mr. Herbert, and really remarkable career so far, too. Now, if the playoff success, which the Ravens have been criticized for, could just come for Herbert, we're going to be talking about him as one of the greats of the generation.
Herbert with a rush there, trying to get the first, just falls short of it, and it's going to be 3rd and 2nd, but a flag does come out.
Very obvious hold on the Chargers against not Joe Alt. That will be Mr. Bradley Bozeman, the former Raven. Definitely got his arms wrapped around Justin Madubuike, and it was pretty blatant. He could try and argue all he wants. Shout out Bradley Bozeman. Signed for me my first ever Ravens game in Baltimore. I have a picture with him somewhere.
Really?
Great dude, very kind guy. Love to see him having success and getting that money he's getting from the Chargers. And it actually was against Van Noy he got around. But I did think I saw a hold on Johnson holding Madubuike as well.
Herbert in the pocket here as he's going to hit. And that looks like that one is going to go to Jalen Reagor there, but it's going to be dropped. Not sure, actually.
Looks like they're going to call that a gain of 9.
Gain of 9, actually. Oh, yeah, because of the penalty.
It did look a little questionable, but he did get that. He did corral that ball just enough. Beautiful ball placement by Justin Herbert. What a pass. I mean, he throws that ball any more to the left or the right. That's an incompletion. Just on target again. Herbert just having a great night throwing the football. He really has not missed.
3rd and 8, Haskins to the left of Herbert. And the snap. Here's Herbert trying to get the first down here. And a beautiful catch there. By McConkey.
Wiggins came flying in, tried to get him, tried to catch Herbert lacking with the cornerback blitz, but Herbert once again just doing Herbert things, stepping up in the pocket, avoiding the sack, just having enough time to get rid of that football, and the Chargers are set up nice in Ravens territory now.
Yep. And so now the Chargers, who are currently down by 4, putting themselves in field goal range, but they're obviously trying to go for the touchdown here. Here's Herbert, back with Edwards on the field. Herbert trying to find an option here as he tries and runs this one, but he's going to be taken down. And it looks like there's going to be no gain and no loss there.
Once again, looked like another misholding call in the left end on Mr. Rashawn Slater. Kind of got his arms wrapped around Adafe Owe, and he got tripped up at the end of that play. Just got maybe a yard lost there as he slid down towards the end, but Herbert doing a great job of eluding these sacks and avoiding big hits. It's very big for his longevity in this league.
Of course. Now here's Herbert again, as a large amount of pressure there from Marlon Humphrey, and that's going to be just enough for Herbert to have a bad pass there, and this is going to create 3rd and 11 here.
And you look at the Ravens' defensive game plan, they're going a lot more blitz heavy, a lot more trying to get some hits on Herbert, who's been relatively clean this whole night. Marlon Humphrey came flying in, and he really didn't have any time to make things happen like he has the whole entire night. Gus Edwards, even if he did catch that ball, it would have been a loss of yardage, actually, so it was kind of better off that he didn't catch it.
Of course. Now here's Herbert again. Haskins still with him. Herbert down the field. Rager the intended target, but Wiggins with great defense there. But Herbert is actually going to overthrow this out of bounds, which is going to create 4th and 11.
What a response by the Ravens defense. It kind of looked like the Chargers might have just marched down there, kind of get a quick score, and now they're going to have to go for the field goal. Luckily, they did get it in field goal range for Mr. Cameron Dicker. But overall, great job by the Ravens defense. Kind of got them off the field. Relatively good timing, as there is 4:12 left in the quarter.
Dicker with the kick, and it's going to be good. And this is going to be 16-17.
We got ourselves a game here in LA. It's tight. 17-16 Baltimore. They're going to get the football back as soon as this media timeout comes to a close. But while we do go to break, if we want to just touch upon this divisional race that's going on and this playoff race that's heating up, you look at the Ravens' schedule to end the season. You look at the Steelers' schedule to end the season. Pittsburgh's got 4 more divisional games left to go. And as you've seen from the past couple of weeks, anything could happen in those. Ravens were heavy favorites in the Ravens-Steelers game. And the Steelers came away with the victory after the Ravens kind of shot themselves in the foot. But then the cycle continued, and Cleveland, against all odds, took down Pittsburgh in a very cold, snowy Thursday night game. So with the Steelers now sitting at 8-3, the Ravens have a big opportunity to advance to 8-4. And with their schedule remaining in the season, they have Philadelphia next week, which is going to be a very tough matchup. And then they go to New York to play the Giants, which is an interesting one because Daniel Jones might be the newest Ravens member come this upcoming week. Ravens are the favorites to land Daniel Jones.
Really?
Then the Ravens go into a bye week the Ravens go into the bye week before the Giants matchup. My apologies for that. But once they come out of the bye week, they play the Giants. Then they play the Steelers 6 days later on a Saturday primetime game. And then just 4 days later, they play the Texans on Christmas. So the Ravens are going to be playing 3 games in 10 days. What a blunder by the schedule makers, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. And, obviously on the topic of teams that are in the AFC playoff race, the Broncos is a very surprising team this year, as not a lot of people had the faith in them this year. But obviously, with the addition of Bo Nix, he's been playing his butt off this year. And also on top of that, their kicker has also been doing very, very good too. So, and not just that, Cortland Sutton also been playing very, very well this year, along with many other players this year. But those have definitely been some of the 3 key players to that Broncos team this year.
And how about that defense? Their defense ranks among the top defenses in the league. as we come down to the final stretch here, they're 2 games up right now on Miami and Indianapolis. So there's a very good opportunity, very big window of opportunity for the Broncos to maybe get another win next week, put themselves in prime position for that 7th wild card spot, and really make this a 7-team race unless the Dolphins could get a huge win on Thanksgiving against the Packers, as that would really bolster their playoff opportunity. So that's going to be a great game to keep an eye on Thanksgiving night. And 2 pretty solid matchups before. You got the divisional game between the Giants and the Cowboys, 2 teams that have severely underperformed, but divisional game, Thanksgiving, it's a classic, It's a classic. You got Tommy DeVito, love me some Italian football. Always love to see the Italians getting involved in all sports. Shout out Palermo, Sicily. Origin of the last name. And then the other game you got Lions and Bears. Big divisional game there too. So we got some good Thanksgiving games coming up this week.
Of course, but I'm not too excited though. I don't know. I mean, I would have liked to see Daniel Jones, but hey, how can you hate Tommy DeVito?
There you go. Lamar gets out of almost big loss, avoided the sack there, kind of just dumped it off to Charlie Kolar, who made a really nice athletic adjustment. And Lamar Jackson just doing Lamar things, turning big losses into semi-chunk gains. 6 yards, that's as good as a Derrick Henry run up the middle pretty much.
Yep. And now here are the Ravens, who's going to be handing off to Henry here. Henry trying to get that first down, and it looks like he's going to be short, and he's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down.
So that's going to bring up a very pivotal 3rd down. The Chargers have played very tight on 3rd down tonight, so it's going to be interesting to see what the Ravens can dial up here, if they're going to go with a run to Henry again, or if they're going to go design run, which they do go. Lamar trying to get there. He's going to be about a half yard short, and this is going to bring up decision time once more for the Ravens.
Yep, and it looks like the Ravens are going to be going for this one. Very ballsy there from Hardman.
Yeah, I mean, Harbaugh's playing an aggressive game. Both Harbaugh's playing an aggressive game. They do not want to lose. This is for bragging rights at the Thanksgiving table. This is deciding who gets the turkey leg.
And here's Henry. Henry with a drive. He's going to get about 10, and he's going to keep going. He's going to get to the 40, the 35, and he's going to fall at about the 34, and a huge gain there for the Ravens in a crucial 4th down decision, as Derrick Henry is going to get about a 30-yard gain there.
Very impressive job by Derrick Henry. Once more, just dragging defenders with him. And when it's a one-on-one defensive back versus Derrick Henry matchup, Derrick Henry's going to win that matchup 10 times out of 10. Just making grown men look like kids. And once again, great job by the Ravens up front to get the blocking down. Really was no doubt about getting the first down. But now they're set up in Chargers territory.
Here's Justice Hill. Justice Hill going to get about 3 yards before taking down a flag thrown.
Looks like it's going to be a hold against the Ravens. This one's coming back. So now a recurring theme here for the Ravens. Big play, next play, penalty. And this time it was on Pat McCarry, who really has been at the root of a lot of these holding calls on the offense. And see, he just got wrapped up around the neck of the linebacker, Heffman, on the Chargers.
Yep. Derrick Henry with 100 yards today already. And a minute 44 left to play here.
Ravens combined rushing yards tonight in the 130s around.
First and 19. There's Jackson with the throw. He's going to hit Wallace.
Nice.
And he's going to be taken down.
Shout out Tylan Wallace, another guy on the field who I've met in person. Super nice guy. Making things happen on the field when he does get the opportunity. So great to see Tylan Wallace getting involved, and the Ravens make up a very good chunk of yardage that they lost on the previous holding play.
Tylen Wall is taken down at around the 30-yard line.
Set up a 2nd and 4 for the Ravens.
Henry back out on the field. Here's Jackson. 50 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Here's Henry. Henry taken down with no gain there, so this is going to create 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4, excuse me.
Another third down opportunity for the Chargers to try and get off the field here. But as the Ravens have done, especially since the second quarter, they've been wearing this defense down by bringing it to 3rd down and going and converting. So if the Chargers get a stop, it's very big between not getting a stop. I think the Ravens get a 1st down here. They're well on their way to another 6, as to where if the Chargers get a stop, hold the Ravens to 3 and get back out on the field with this still a very manageable one-possession game.
Henry with the look over to Bateman. Bateman trying to get it, but it's fumbled. But they're going to rule him that he was down. So 4th down.
I don't know if he was short of that marker. We'll see where they spot it. It seemed like he got the extension towards the end, but was the knee down? Oh, the knee looks like it was down just short.
Yeah.
We're going to the 4th quarter now. Buckle up, Ravens-Chargers. Tight game on Monday Night Football here on the NBSB. Welcome back to the NBSB as we go into the 4th quarter here in LA at SoFi Stadium. Nicholas Bostico, Stu Palermo here for a thriller on Monday night between the Ravens and the Chargers. As we get back into this and get ready to play in the 4th quarter, Ravens are going to be setting up for a very 4th and short. We'll see if they get it. And Henry's got it, it looks like. So the Ravens have forward progress and a 1st down. Very big for the Ravens to pick that one up. Definitely needed it. And as we go back one last time looking at the playoff picture, the Steelers with the 4 divisional games left and the Chiefs and the Eagles on top of that. If the Ravens could just get this win tonight and win the head-to-head with the Steelers in week number 16, they're going to be in a very good position to try and take this division right out of the hands of Mike Tomlin and the Steelers after that crushing loss on Thursday night.
Jackson here, hitting Flowers. Flowers trying to get a gain here, and he's going to get about a 4-yard gain.
Not a bad look to Zay Flowers. Once you get him out in space and he can make a couple guys miss, maybe pick up 4 or 5 yards, it's almost as effective as a little run play on 1st and 10. So I definitely don't hate it. And big news on the NBSB. Nicholas Bostico just recently turned 19, and he's fired up to be here for the broadcast. So happy birthday, Nick.
Thank you, Stu. Very much appreciated. As there's Henry with a big rush there, and that's going to be about a 14-yard gain there.
Big game for Derrick Henry. Another great run, finding space, great blocking, going right behind the big fullback Pat Ricard, who laid a huge block there on the edge, freed up a lot of space for Henry to move. Now the Ravens are at 1st and goal at the 10.
Here's Jackson. Jackson handing off to Henry. Henry trying to find the end zone. It's about a 4-yard gain there.
Kind of tripped on his own man, kind of slipped on Pat McCarry. He slipped on Daniel Filele just a little bit. So going back to that replay on Henry with the big 10-yard gain before to get the Ravens to this position. And now the Ravens with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry combined, 128 rush yards. Need 72 to hit that 200-yard combined mark that everybody wants to see.
There's Henry Jackson. Jackson trying to find the end zone. He doesn't, as that's swatted away.
That was a very risky play by Lamar, and it was knocked away by Molden. You know, Ravens, one of the highest red zone efficiencies, if not the highest in the NFL this year. And the Chargers on defense have also had some of the best red zone numbers. He had Flowers in the back of the end zone, but unfortunately, he had to throw a line drive to get it there with space closing very quickly. And Molden just got a hand on it, tried to stop it there. So we'll see what the Ravens can dial up here on 3rd and goal. Very pivotal play in this game.
Here's Jackson lined up with Hill. Here's Jackson trying to find the end zone. He does! Mark Andrews! Touchdown! No, they're sitting out of bounds.
They got to take a look at this. Gilman kind of knocked that ball around at the end, but Andrews with a very physical and contested catch. We're going to see if they're going to go back and think about this and call this a touchdown. And I think this might get overturned and turn to a touchdown as they put their hands up. It's a touchdown for the Ravens.
And a beautiful touchdown there for Mark Andrews, the tight end, number 89, as this one is going to be 23-16. And no question there, Stu, is that a touchdown? I'm honestly shocked that got called no touchdown at all.
You know, a lot of movement there. He kind of lost it for a second, but pulled it back in. He's just so strong going up over the DB Gilman. And Lamar and Mark Andrews, they just have had that established connection for so long. Mark Andrews, obviously, the all-time leading touchdown reception scorer in the Ravens' history as they go for 2 here. Lamar rolls out right. Now he's going to look. Now looks, and it goes through Flowers' hands. Oh, no. So the Ravens tried to throw 2 points up there to try and make it a 2-score game, and unfortunately couldn't get that done. He had Flowers. Looked like it kind of went off his hands there. But going back to the big touchdown by Andrews to make it a 7-point game, it's 23-16 Ravens on the NBSB in the 4th quarter.
NBSB here, Nick Bosco, Stu Palermo. Mark Andrews with a great touchdown there for the Ravens as the Chargers now go back on offense. 12:32 left to play in the fourth quarter as Davis is going to take a kneel here, and Herbert is now going to come out back for the Chargers.
Look back at that 2-point try. Flowers was open. Lamar had a wide open hole to kind of roll out left and try and make something happen that way, but he was looking past the whole entire way. So, unfortunately, they couldn't get the 2-point conversion, but they are still in a very good position, up by 7 here. And, they kicked that extra point. They're up by 8. Chargers need a touchdown, 2-point conversion to tie it. They make that 2-point conversion. They're up by 2 scores in the fourth quarter, and we're looking at a very, very favorable game to the Ravens odds. So, let me ask you, Nick, do you think that the Ravens going for 2 there was the wrong decision?
Yes, very much. I don't know what the purpose of that was. I think that if the Ravens were to kick that, they still would have had an 8-point lead. And knowing the Ravens' defense so far tonight, I think that was the field goal would have been just fine for them. So I'm not saying that I'm not necessarily saying it was a stupid decision, but I'm saying that I don't think it was the best decision. I think there was a lot better moves that could have been made by this Ravens team. Obviously there's only one other move I think they could have made, and that is to kick that damn field goal. So, and they could have had an 8-point lead now, and all the Chargers need is one touchdown and an extra point for them to tie this ball game up.
And shout out our viewer Robert Davis, always showing love on the stream, coming on and giving us views. So love to see it. Thank you for the support, Robert Davis. I hope you tune in next week.
Thank you. And the Ravens making this one 23-16 after that Andrews touchdown, and we will be right back on the NBSB. Herbert with the throw to Edwards, and Edwards going to be taken down there, and it looks like that's going to be about a loss of 4.
And a huge blow up in the backfield by Kyle Hamilton, getting all over that. It looked like it was a backwards pass, so thankfully Edwards had a very nice one-hand grab to try and avoid that going back the other way, and probably putting this game away if he doesn't catch this and the Ravens recover.
Of course. And so that is a great tackle there by Kyle Hamilton, as this is going to create 2nd and 17 here. Herbert in the pocket next to Edwards. Actually, I think that is Edwards. Here's Herbert. Herbert with the throw. And it's going to be a great catch there from Disley.
Will Disley, the former Seahawk, getting in there and getting a quick grab. Overall, the Ravens defense has really stepped it up since the first half, and since coming out for the second half, they're doing a solid job of holding the Chargers to where they're at. Will Disley, the tight end, not having a bad night. He's grabbing some catches. He's gotten 390 receiving yards this season, a career high. So shout out Will Disley making something of the season.
Here's Herbert, who's going to be in the pocket with the snap. Here's Herbert coming back, trying to look deep. He does. And Palmer trying to get a catch there, but it looks like there's going to be PI. And it looks like there's going to be some frustration here from the Ravens bench as a flag comes out for PI.
That one going against Tre'Davious White, the recent free agent signing after he was waived by or he was actually a trade acquisition with the Rams, very low risk move, and it's paid off so far. He kind of had George Pickens locked up last week, and now this week kind of got a little bit, out of his in his own way there against Palmer, kind of just grabbing all up along the face mask and the shoulder pad area, not really giving him a chance to catch the ball. And that's actually going to be offsetting penalties as something came down against the Chargers on number 79, Trey Pipkins the third. And that's going to make this a replay on third downs. On third down as he was holding Matabike.
Yeah, now Chargers are going to try and restart here after that penalty.
So that really is big in regards to the Ravens' chances of getting off the field here. And on the other side, the Chargers could have had a big chunk there on free yards on the hold downfield on White. So they're going to get a chance to go for it again on third.
And here's Herbert in the pocket. Herbert looking for
Quentin Johnston.
It's not going to be good there. It's Quentin Johnston, a very, very bad missed catch there. Chargers fans disappointed here tonight, and that is just, you got to catch those, man. That's in your hands. That's a bad drop there from Quentin Johnston, as now the Ravens are going to go back on offense.
And you know what? Very poor job by Johnston trying to haul that ball in. Really couldn't get anything done there. He just hauled that one in. It probably would have been a first down. Probably would have went out of bounds. Probably would have turned the ball upfield a little bit. Anything could have happened after the catch. There was so much open space to run with. So it was very poor job by Johnston, who had all the drop issues last year. And you see them kind of coming up again now in this game.
Chargers punting this one away. And it's going to go out of bounds there at around the 20. So the Ravens are going to go back on offense here after a very, very tough drop there from Quentin Johnston. And that is, like we were saying earlier, that is very, very bad there from the Chargers there. And, they were playing very, very well on the offensive side of the ball early in this game. The Ravens offense, they come out on fire. Obviously Derrick Henry now having 114 rushing yards right now. And then on top of that, Lamar Jackson playing very well. So the Chargers need to pick up their offense here and play very well on the defensive side of the ball in this drive if they want any shot of winning this ball game.
All right. And obviously, in the hating competition, Robert Davis is tapping in Monday night. Only viewer on the stream, according to some comments. Shout out, Robert Davis. Thanks for viewing tonight. We appreciate you coming on the stream. And just remember, kids, if you're out there and you have something you love doing, you should go and do it anyways, regardless of what everybody says. My boy Nicholas Bostico has a very good future in this sports broadcasting industry. His favorite sport's hockey, kind of getting his feet a little wet in the water on Monday Night Football. So if there was anything that kind of looked a little, you know what? He's getting into football, and he's going to be doing another football stream very soon. And you know that he's only going to get better and grow more and more. Great sportscaster, great guy. Nicholas Bostico, absolute dog here on NBSB. And Robert Davis, shout out for coming on the stream and watching. We appreciate you.
Have a good night, sir. As we are going to go to commercial break here, you're watching the NBSB. Jackson with the ball in the pocket here. Here's Jackson who's going to get it over to Andrews, and Andrews going to be just shy of the first down.
Big game for Andrews tonight. He's got 5 grabs, got the touchdown catch, pretty close up to 50 yards. And as we look on the screen and on the stream for ESPN Monday Night Football, look at the comparison between Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley in their new homes. 2 incredible seasons. Barkley ran for over 200 last night, over 300 yards from scrimmage. Really impressive night. And, him and Derrick Henry with their new squads really fitting him well. It's good to see.
Of course. So now here's Jackson lined up. Hands it over to Henry. Henry trying to get in for this first down. The Chargers defense is going to be strong enough to keep him just shy, so this is going to create 3rd and 1.
3rd and 1 here. Derrick Henry kind of got a little stuffed up. You see the Chargers trying to maybe game plan against it a little bit more. They've kind of been ran all over by Henry tonight. Now starting to maybe gain some traction on defense and stopping the run. So we'll see. See what Mr. Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson can put together here on a very pivotal 3rd down. If the Ravens convert, plenty of time for the Chargers to work and move the ball downfield. Or if the Ravens don't convert, rather. But if the Ravens convert, they could really control this clock here.
Here's Henry. Henry trying to get the first down. It's going to be close, and he will get it.
And that is a bad man right there. Derrick Henry just stiff-armed multiple defenders. What could have been a 3-yard loss by, your average running back turns into a positive 4 yards by Derrick Henry. Stiff-arming multiple players and just getting out of the tackles. They just can't bring him down. Wow.
That's a great play right there from Henry.
Wow. 119 on the ground for Henry tonight. He's having a great game. Lamar's going to run up the middle on a design run, gaining about 3 yards rather. And that'll set up a 2nd down and 7.
Yep. Derrick Henry, like we keep saying, has been playing amazing this game so far. Very crucial on the ball for the Ravens right now. He doesn't have a touchdown right now today, but he has helped the Ravens massively to get into the positions of the 3 touchdowns that they've had today. And this has been a very great performance here from Henry. So, obviously Henry, man, like you were saying earlier, Stu, he makes big men look like little kids on the field. And that's been one of the very crucial aspects to Henry's game. Now here's Jackson here. Jackson with the throw to Flowers. Flowers going to have a catch there, as he's only going to be about 2 yards out from the first down.
Zay Flowers once again getting involved, getting open. 6 yards, it's not going to pop off on the stat sheet by any means, but you know what? Shout out Tommy Kennedy. Thanks for hopping on the stream, brother. Love Baltimore. All love the Baltimore. Appreciate it. But Zay Flowers coming out here and getting a 6-yard game. Just as good as a Henry run,
Exactly, yep. And Zay Flowers, like we said, very young player right now for the Ravens. Only been in the system for about 2 years. So he's been playing very well up to this point for the team, and it's been very crucial. As Justice Hill with a huge run there. He goes 30 to 20, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Justice Hill. And the Ravens go up 29 to 16 off of a 40-yard rush there from Justice Hill. And the Ravens go up by 13.
Justice Hill, what a play, hopped outside, and he realized once he saw the hole at the end of the run, if I stay up, I'm going to score this thing. And now he's busting out the dance moves, and why not? 6-play, 72-yard drive, 3 minutes and 21 seconds it took off the clock. The Ravens are now up by 2 scores, and now they're in the driver's seat in this game. Kind of brought Zay Flowers across, creating a little bit of confusion. And then next thing you know, there's nobody in the secondary really to stop Hill. And he was pretty much untouched the entire time.
Flowers, who also had a great stop there, or great block there as well to help out Hill with that touchdown there. And Justice Hill, as you can see him off to the races there. And that is a beautiful touchdown there from Justice Hill.
And Lamar is loving it. Lamar's like, I didn't have to throw it, I didn't have to run it, just give it to my boy Justice Hill, and he's going to go take care of business. The Ravens are now up 2 scores. Mr. John Harbaugh now working up against his brother, now with a 14-point lead if Justin Tucker drills this extra point. And now the Ravens are going to try and get this extra point, try and go up 14, see if the Chargers come back out here and have any fire of their own. But that is a very big blow to the Chargers' chances of winning this game.
Of course, of course. Apologies there for the quarter there. I just forgot to change it there. But it's currently the fourth quarter with about 7:24 left to play. Justin Tucker now about to take the extra point here to make this a 14-point ball game.
No worries about that. We all forget stuff sometimes, like the Chargers forgot how to play defense on that one play by Justice Hill. But you love to see it. 30 for the Ravens, 16 for the Chargers. We're going to see if the Chargers can get a score, and we're going to see if our DraftKings and FanDuel line of the over-under 51 total points is going to hit or not. We're going to see. 7:24 left in the game. Anything could happen. Oh, boy.
Davis with a rush there. He's going to get to the 40, and he's taken down by Justin Tucker.
Hey, Justin Tucker on the tackle after the big run by Davis. And Tommy Kennedy really just gave us a good pick in the comment section. He said, give me the over. Chargers setting up near midfield. Very well could happen.
Of course, of course.
You know what? Justin Tucker making the tackle there. I don't remember the last time Justin Tucker got a tackle, but that was pretty impressive. Taking out some of that anger from some of the misses he's had earlier in the year. So nice job by Tucker, but a very nice job by Davis to get a nice return there.
Herbert in the pocket. Herbert looking down the field, and he's going to hit McConkey.
Wow.
But a flag is going to be thrown down. Is this going to be taken back?
It might be on the Ravens. It might be on Humphrey getting a little tangled up, but at the offensive line, you kind of saw there was a big hit there, kind of decked one of the defensive linemen on the Ravens. So we'll see what this is against.
It looks like it's on Humphrey. Yeah, there you go.
Humphrey with the penalty there will be the Ravens' sixth penalty of the day. You know, all in all, 6 penalties. It's not a pretty number, but
No,
I could live with it compared to what they have been doing this year. They had
of
over 10
course.
last week against the Steelers. Cutting that in half is always big, but kind of was not even had an effect on the play. I mean, it did on McConkey's chances of catching that ball. I don't think he even got the feet down, but to be honest, it looked like it was a little bit on Humphrey. So they do call the pass incomplete, but they do confirm the pass interference on Mr. Marlon Humphrey. So it will go in the stat book as a incomplete pass or as a PI. No fantasy points for you Lad McConkey owners, unfortunately.
Here's Herbert. Herbert with a deep ball down the field. Palmer, the intended target, who was guarded by Wiggins. A very good look there from Herbert and did have the range and accuracy, but Palmer got a little bit mixed up of which side of his body the ball was going to land on. Looks like he thought it was going to be his left, turns to the right and realizes that, but it's not going to be good there as the Chargers are going to get no gain there.
So, like you said, no game for the Chargers. Big play downfield. Palmer looked like he had somewhat of a chance to make a contested catch, but not the best ball by Herbert. And a night where Herbert's had a lot of great throws, so you got to take a little bit of ease on Herbert. But we'll see what he could do here. And he sacked Kyle Van Noy coming through the middle. The flag comes down right near the end of the play, but I have a feeling this might be a hold on the Chargers D line, on the Chargers O line. We'll see what goes on. And yeah, it was Pipkins getting up in the face mask of Matabike. So that penalty will be declined. Kyle Van Noy with a big sack, having a great season in his long veteran or his long lengthy career. Coming in as a veteran free agent last year for the Ravens, recording 9 sacks. He's got another 8 this season. So shout out Kyle Van Noy, playing like a dog in his old age.
Herbert in the pocket, the snap. Here's Herbert. Herbert might be running here. He's going to look deep again. Palmer the target again. And it looks like this is going to be PI from Stevens. I don't know about that one, Stu. I'm not a huge fan of that call, actually.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it looked like he did get pretty tangled up. I don't necessarily hate the call, but I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty obvious PI on Brandon Stevens. Jim Harbaugh pleading his case. They're gathering to try and confirm this. We'll see what the call is.
And there is
no foul in the play for pass interference. So, wow.
That's very interesting there. And honestly, like we were saying, not a huge fan, but it does go back, and the Chargers are not going to get the PI call that was originally called for them. There's a little bit of PI, but I don't think it's enough to say that there was complete interference and he had no chance of catching that. So I really like the call. And also, it looked a little bit overthrown there, too.
It looked pretty even, the contact between Palmer and Stevens, when you go back and watch it in slow motion. Chargers are going to punt here, try and pin the Ravens in their own zone, and now could be a very big opportunity for the Ravens to try and run this ball and try and run this clock out.
As the ball is going to land just short of or just above the 10. So it's going to be on the 10-yard line, and the Ravens are going to come back out onto the field there. Chargers, nothing generated there. It's going to be 30-16 Ravens when we return on the NBSB. Here on the NBSB, Nick Moscow, Stu Palermo, as Derrick Henry here is going to push his way to about a 5-yard gain there. And Derrick Henry making this one 2nd and 5 for the Ravens here. 30-16 still, as the Ravens just pushing to get their 8th win of the season.
6 minutes left in the game. Ravens are just a couple first downs away from ending this thing. And, you look at what the Chargers have done and how good of a season they have had. They had a big Sunday Night Football win last week, coming out against a very good Ravens team who really had to have this game in order to win this division. So, we'll see if the Chargers could kind of toughen up here and maybe get this game over with.
Derrick Henry with the ball now, as he looks like maybe got the first down.
I think he might be a yard or half yard short, but it's going to put the Ravens at a third and short position again, like they've been the entire year. And then now the Ravens, their offense is averaging 7.01 yards per play, and that would be the highest in NFL history, which is just really impressive. It just shows to show you how lethal this Ravens offense can be when they are playing at their best. When they're playing at their best, nobody could stop them. So if the Ravens could just stop shooting themselves in the foot in some of these losses, they could be a really dominant football team.
Of course. Now here's Jackson, who's going to hand it off to Henry. Henry, who's going to have about a 5-yard rush and get the first down for the Ravens.
And you know what? That one might be the backbreaker for the Chargers. Down 2 scores. They really needed to stop there. Now the clock runs about to be running under 4 minutes. They do have all 3 timeouts, but it's a 14-point game right now.
Yeah.
You can't let the Ravens hold on to this football for much longer, or else they're just going to run this ball down the field and run out the clock.
Of course, yeah. So now you have the Ravens here going to be setting up on the 24, in between the 23 and the 24. Jackson just running the clock out. And he's going to get it off right before the clock turns, and there's Henry, who's trying to get the first down. And he's going to also have a short gain there, a gain about 6.
So how about Derrick Henry with the 24 carries tonight, and he's been just doing incredible work here tonight, just running the football straight into contact. 24 carries are just really impressive for the Ravens to just hand the ball off to him with that much trust. They've got the job done through the air thus far, and now they're at the point in the game where it's just time to run the clock down.
Of course, as Justice Hill now comes out for Henry. And now here's Justice Hill with a rush there, as he is going to be just shy of the first down from what it looks like, but a flag is going to come out now. And the Ravens are going to get a penalty, a 10-yard penalty there.
So there's a break for the Chargers. It stops the clock at 3:23. Also pushes the Ravens back 10 yards, which might take away from their ability to just run this ball now down the field. We're going to see if Lamar and the Ravens mix in one more pass play, try and end this game for once and for all.
3:23 left to go. 2nd and 14 for the Ravens.
All the over-bettors are sweating right now. They are hoping to see the Ravens just get one more first down and run the clock out. We'll see if that happens. We'll see who's going to be leaving with money and who's going to be leaving empty-handed tonight.
Jackson with Hill still on the 20-yard line, 14 yards out. Here's Jackson trying to make a rush here. He's going to get about maybe a yard, probably not even anything there. 3rd down here. Timeout now for the Ravens. Chargers, excuse me. And it's going to be about 3 minutes left to play here in this game.
So tonight, we have seen quite the football game. The Ravens came out very flat. Offense was not looking lively. The Chargers had everything in their power going, especially when J.K. Dobbins was on the field. But really, the turning point in this game was when J.K. Dobbins went down with the knee injury. Obviously, his whole career, all these nagging, lingering injuries to the legs, and tonight he had to come off the field, which maybe was for the better, just for his longevity and being able to finish the season. It didn't look like anything season-ending. He was running on the sidelines, but you got to play it cautious with a guy like him, especially with his value. And the Chargers in the thick of this playoff race, they're going to need him down the line to run this effective offense.
Yep. Justice Hill still now out for the Ravens, and Jackson handed off to Hill, and Hill not going to get anything. There's 3:14 left to play, and the Ravens offense is going to go off the field, and now the Chargers, our returning unit is going to come back out.
So this is a very, sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Very big opportunity for the Chargers now to try and get something done before the 2-minute warning. If they really want any chance of winning this game, they have to score a touchdown here, and they have to do it very quickly, because you do not want to go under the 2-minute warning with just one timeout. That gives you a very, very small chance of coming back and winning this game. And you know what? The way things have been going this year and all the crazy stuff that's happened, an onside kick attempt, you never know if they're going to be able to recover it.
Mm-hmm. And that one is punted away. It's going to be a fair catch here, called by Davis. Chargers with one last attempt here. Justin Herbert up now with about 3:08 left to play here, as the Chargers have one timeout. Sorry about that. And the Chargers, who probably won't be able to generate much here, and it looks like the Ravens are going to have this one in the bag, but don't give up here, as Justin Herbert still has a little bit of magic maybe in him, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and you got a quarterback like Justin Herbert. You got a guy who's able to push the ball downfield at any time, really. You never know when he's going to come out here and, get a big play. So anything could happen here. There's still a little bit of time left. It's not looking good for the Chargers, but Justin Herbert, see if he can work some magic, like you said. Going back to the point on J.K. Dobbins, it really turned the game in favor of the Ravens, because once he came out of the game, the Chargers really didn't have a lot to lie back on. And now you kind of look at the Chargers offense as a whole, and you can't help but feel like they really didn't build enough around Justin Herbert. They really don't have the receiving core or that of a championship caliber team. Quentin Johnston with the drop issues. Jalen Reagor, no disrespect to him, but he's certainly not the guy you want to look to as wide receiver one. Ladd McConkey's had a great season so far, but you saw him kind of get a little locked up as the game went further on. And then Josh Palmer has been a very favorable target for Herbert, but he also does not really have the makings of a true wide receiver one. So when you took Keenan Allen out of the offense and gave him to the Bears, you kind of took away Justin Herbert's really solid, number one receiver to lay back on. So we look at Justin Herbert, we look at what the Chargers offense has, and I'm going to ask you the question, do you think they have enough to try and go on a playoff run? Because they have a great defense, but at the same time, no J.K. Dobbins now, and things are kind of getting exposed.
I wouldn't count him out. I think Gus Edwards still has a little bit of magic in him. But I would say that they should definitely be afraid of the Broncos. The Broncos could easily, obviously, take them out of the race. I mean, obviously, like we said, the Broncos, they're currently in the race, but they could very much change that around in a single week. And especially with this loss, it'll definitely play a key role into the Chargers if they really want to make this playoff. But, knowing the Chargers, who have had such difficulties as a flag comes out now after Herbert being sacked, it really draws the question is that, do the Chargers want it? Because the Chargers, obviously, they haven't had the amazing success that they originally thought they were going to have. But, it's going to be interesting to see the way that they turn around this season, which it hasn't been bad. I'm not saying it has been.
Yeah, they go and they have the matchup with the Broncos coming up on Week 16 on Thursday night on December 29th. That is going to be, or on Sunday night, Thursday night game on December 19th. That took me a while to come up with, as there's another drop by Quentin Johnston, who's really going through it with these drop issues. He was a first-round pick, looking to be the big guy to come in and, step up for Mr. Herbert, but not catching that ball, not catching the one earlier. It's not looking good for him in terms of his trust being built up with Mr. Herbert.
2nd and 5 here, 2:58 left to play. Here's Herbert in the pocket. Herbert looking down, and he's going to hit. And Quentin Johnston, another drop pass there. This is not looking good for the Chargers.
Yeah, I feel for Quentin Johnston a bit. You could tell he really just wants to haul one of these in. And Trey White came in at the end and knocked it away with his veteran cornerback ability. Oh, there's the Chargers super fan.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Hey, the meme. Remember that?
No, she's paid by the NFL.
Paid by the NFL. She wasn't very happy when Johnston dropped that one. But he's got 4 targets tonight and 0 catches. Talk about a night to forget for Mr. Quentin Johnston. As 3rd down comes up, Ravens come flying in, and Herbert is going to go down once more. It's a sack for Baltimore, and getting in there on the sack is Brandon Stevens.
I'd like to address something, too, a little bit off topic. If you look back at the Superfan, there was an interview with her saying how she wasn't paid and that there was, she's a proud fan of the Chargers. However, though, there was a video that did come out of her with very similar reactions and rooting for the Minnesota Vikings at a Vikings game, which is a little not surprising there, I would say.
Little interesting, I would say. A little dicey. But you know what? It certainly got the NFL a little bit more attention. I think that was what their goal was ultimately.
Herbert
goes downfield.
And a beautiful catch there from Ladd McConkey.
Ladd McConkey kind of becoming a security blanket as we're down to the 2-minute warning. McConkey having a pretty solid night, but the Ravens overall as a whole really coming to play in LA. And just another good performance by the defense a week after holding the Steelers to only field goals, holding the Chargers to 3 field goals and just 1 touchdown tonight.
Yep. And we'll be right back here before the 2-minute warning. It is a 2-minute warning. No.
Oh, yeah, we're at the 2-minute warning, but we don't have to take a break if you want to go over some stat lines for the night if you'd like to.
Let's rip it up, Stu. What do we got for here tonight?
All right, so on the Chargers side of the ball, Justin Herbert, 19 of 31, 204 yards. He's been sacked 4 times, quarterback rating of 80.6. It was not Herbert's worst performance. I feel like he could have got a little bit more help from his receivers, in particular Quentin Johnston. Ladd McConkey had a very solid night, 5 catches for 78 yards. J.K. Dobbins, 6 runs for 40 yards at the beginning of this game before going out. He also had 3 catches for 19 yards. Not a terrible night for him. He averaged about 6.6 yards per scrimmage per play, give or take. So shout out Mr. Ladd McConkey. And then we go over to the Ravens side of things. Lamar Jackson, 126.5 rating, 16 to 22, 177 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, as well as 1 rushing touchdown on 17 yards. And Derrick Henry obviously headlining the run game with 140 yards on 24 carries. And shout out Justice Hill, 55 yards on 4 carries with the touchdown. On the receiving end of things, Lamar definitely spread the love, but he had his 2 favorites tonight, as usual. It was Flowers and Mark Andrews, each getting 5 catches. Flowers for 62 yards and Andrews for 44, while Bateman had the 1 big play, which got him in the end zone, and a very nice adjustment. I'd say that was probably the play of the game.
Definitely.
Working against the pass interference and just hauling that ball in against all odds. So great night for the Ravens offense and great night for the Ravens defense. We'll see how this game finishes out. The Chargers are going to have one more opportunity here under 2 minutes to try and get in the end zone, and then they would need an onside kick. So it is a long shot for the Chargers, but they're not done yet.
But it looks very blatantly in the distance. We could see Chargers fans exiting SoFi Stadium in Englewood, California. But that won't discourage as Herbert steps into the pocket, throws it deep, and the target of Palmer and Marlon Humphrey playing some excellent defense there as he shuts that down with 1:55 left to play in the 4th.
And you know what? Ravens secondary really has balled out since that Thursday night game against the Bengals. They didn't really let much happen through the air against the Steelers last week. This week, once again having a big night. They've certainly been helped by some drops, but overall, very good coverage on defense, holding these Chargers receivers to very minimal gains. Only guy really has had any remote success on that receiving core is McConkey. So great job by the Ravens secondary for hearing the noise and also stepping up and playing a solid D.
Herbert in the pocket, trying to get a throw deep. He's pressured here. And a flag looks like it's going to be a hold on the Chargers. As Herbert, with the rush, he's going to get to 40 to 30. And he's going to step out of bounds there.
But definitely a flag on Joe Alt holding Adafe away. He got held up. It was pretty blatant at the beginning of the play. It looked like Adafe away was bound to get a sack. So at the end of the day, you know what? Trying to protect the quarterback at this point, keep him healthy. You never really want to see, light just went out. You never want to just see your quarterback get hit late in the game. So even though it was a hold, at this point, you just don't want to get out. You want to get out of this game with minimal injury.
Of course, definitely. And, now is not the time to get injured. Obviously, you already see J.K. Dobbins have already gone out out of the game with a knee injury. So any injury at this point is completely unnecessary, especially for a team that is fighting for a playoff spot, as we see Will Dissly, who gets a little run or little gain there.
Will Dissly over the middle. Nice little grab there. Justin Herbert, not bad pocket presence there. Just stepped up, fired it over. But, we talk about the injury thing. The Chargers are going to be 7-4 with a loss tonight. And at the end of the day, 7-4, you want to be in the best position possible to try and make the playoffs. Their schedule is going to be a little tough the next few weeks. They got the Falcons, they got the Chiefs, they got the Broncos a little bit after that. But overall, it's not the worst schedule. As we look at what they have remaining in the season, they have the the Falcons next week, followed by the Chiefs. Then they come back home to play the Buccaneers and the Broncos on Sunday the 15th and Thursday the 19th. And then towards the end of the season, they finish with two very winnable opponents, the Patriots, and then they play the Las Vegas Raiders. Shout out Oakland. Y'all should not have gotten your sports teams ripped away from you. We are fighting for you. We are praying for you. Hope you guys get a sports team back in the near future. But going back over what the Chargers have left, if they can muster out a win or two out of the next four, which are going to be very challenging games, I have a feeling they will make the playoffs. It's looking like they will sneak in there with a 10-7 or 11-6 record.
Herbert in the pocket here. He's lined up with Haskins. Herbert. And there's the throw to McConkey.
He almost dropped that one too, but luckily McConkey sure-handed, reeled that one in at the end. Don't really ever want to see a drop pass on another occasion by another receiver. You don't want your trust with your quarterback to be completely shot. So good job by Ladd McConkey to haul that one in and try and get minimal damage. So with 1:29 remaining in this game, the Chargers will have a fourth down play. And if they don't convert, this game is going to be 100% over. If they do convert, the game will go on with very minimal chance of them coming back and winning this game. It's all smiles. It's all good vibes on the Ravens sideline right now. I think they really just want to put their foot back on the pedal, getting over that loss last week and coming out and responding with a nice win on Monday night.
Herbert looking for Palmer. Palmer nothing there. As Humphrey, some defense there. Great defense, actually, but a flag will come out there as it looks like there's going to be a PI. As you can see, John Harbaugh does not give a damn about that.
Yeah, there was a little bit of hand fighting, a little bit of grabbing. I could see maybe a little bit of an illegal contact. Not too sure about the pass interference. I understand illegal contact, but you know what? At the end of the day, we're really at the point in the game where it's not too impactful.
Yeah.
And there was definitely some hand grabbing, so maybe I take that back. Might have been a pass interference.
1:24 left to play here. Here's Herbert in the pocket. Herbert making a run for it. He's going to get to the 20, trying to get to the 15, but he's going to be stopped there by White. And Herbert is going to get the first down, though, and he's going to be at the 18 with about 1:10 left to play. Chargers out of timeouts. Ravens almost going off sides. There's Herbert looking for the end zone. Palmer the target again, but nothing there.
Jalen Armour-Davis, a little 5-on-5 action, making a nice defensive play. Former Alabama cornerback, drafted back in 2020. Jalen Armour-Davis has not seen the field too much over the past few years, but overall, excellent job to just get up there and knock that ball out of play. Not necessarily was Palmer going to catch it, but Armour-Davis making the most of his opportunity tonight.
Of course. Now here's Herbert. Herbert looking for the end zone. Johnston, the intended target again. 54 seconds left to play. 3rd and 10. Herbert, I don't know. Herbert, you know, that might have been the smart play as he gets a little bit sandwiched there from White and Board. .54 seconds left to play in the 4th. No timeouts left for the Chargers. All 3 for the Ravens. 4 seconds left on the play clock here as Herbert steps back into the pocket, looks for the end zone again. Palmer, a target again. I think this is his 6th straight target of not being caught there. And there's a flag.
It's going to go against Armour-Davis in the end zone. A little bit of hand fighting, call another PI. And, you know, I was mentioning the Ravens were keeping the penalties down tonight, but that kind of just got ran up on this drive in the last couple. So the Chargers are going to be right on the 1 here. And this game isn't necessarily over because they get in the end zone here. They get a chance to onside kick this thing. If they recover that, they will have a chance to come down and tie this up.
Of course.
Trying to catch the Ravens sleeping with not enough guys on the field. And now Gus Edwards is going to go in and score a touchdown against his former team as he gets in here with 45 seconds to go in this game. The Chargers make this a 1-score game, and if you had the over, you are jumping for joy right now because the Chargers just smashed it.
Cameron Dicker now coming out for the Chargers. 46 seconds left to play. And Chargers line it up here for the extra point. Snap, and there's a flag here, probably a false start. Oh, delay of game. I didn't even see the play clock there. So it's going to be the Chargers' 8th penalty of the game.
In case you're wondering, onside kick
Here's Dicker.
attempts this season 3 for 36.
Snap. The kick. It's good.
With 2 recoveries,
23-30
the point is good. It's a 7
in favor of the Ravens. So the Ravens look like they're going to come out here. They're going to kneel it twice and then call it reps.
Well, it's all about recovering this onside kick at this point. You know, you never want to see. You think that your team's gonna win the game, think that it's all over, and then all of a sudden an onside kick gets recovered, and then, oh boy, we have ourselves a little bit of an interesting situation here.
Sure.
Like, you know, in the Chicago-Minnesota game that went to overtime this weekend, even though Minnesota ended up ultimately winning, Chicago came all the way back, recovered an onside kick, and they forced overtime. So you never know what's going to happen here.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see how this one ends up here, as we have an onside kick here, and the Ravens know it.
So
We'll see which direction he goes with it. Ravens got to be ready to go.
make something happen.
This is going to be interesting here.
A successful try yesterday.
Cameron Dicker with the kick, as it's going to be recovered here by the Ravens, and that's going to be it.
Isaiah likely recovers. He talks his talk to the Chargers sideline, he says that we are done here. We're all good. It's all over. The Ravens are going to come away with the victory in the Harbaugh Bowl for the third time. John Harbaugh gets the best of his brother, and the Ravens with a massive win, absolutely must have if they want to stay in this divisional race and try and challenge the Steelers for that divisional crown. And now they just got to kneel it out a couple times, and this game is over.
Lamar Jackson with the kneel.
Absolutely monster win for the Baltimore Ravens. As for the Chargers, they do go down to 7-4, but the only concern now is getting J.K. Dobbins on the field back and healthy and making sure he's going to be good to go for next week, or maybe not even next week, just for the rest of the season. They cannot not have him. So that's going to do it. The Ravens are going to take this one 30-23. And John Harbaugh gets the best of his brother Jim. Nick?
Yeah, this has definitely been one of the more interesting games of the season, and this, I think, would probably go down as one of the better Monday Night Football games of this year. It was a very competitive one, and especially one that people were very, very eager to watch as the two brothers battle it out here in the Harbaugh Bowl. Herbert and Jackson making this one a very interesting game tonight, and I thought there was a great performance tonight from Derrick Henry alongside Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins also having two great games tonight. But that's going to do it here from the NBSB. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. It's been a pleasure here, joined by Stu Palermo. Stu, anything you want to say here?
Oh, yeah, thank you for having me, Nick. It was an absolute pleasure. Love doing the games. It was my first time on the stream, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting back on for some more football in the future. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Shout out Baltimore. Shout out the Ravens. Shout out J.K. Dobbins. Still love you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're not injured. Hope you're going to be here the rest of the year. Just a great night. Thanks for having me, though.
Of course. Thank you so much for joining us, Stu. And we will maybe be seeing a stream on Wednesday with the Rangers versus Hurricanes, so stay tuned for that, as there are intentions, but I'm just checking my schedules and everything, so we'll see what happens there. But that is it for tonight. Thank you, guys. This has been Nick Bostico, Stu Palermo, and this has been the Ravens vs. Chargers on the NBSC.